Now, December started with some fresh off-field issues, as Stan Bowles was said to not be in the right frame of mind to face his former side, Man City, so he missed the trip north with Mick Leach returning to the side. Bowles was dropped to the reserves by Dave Sexton. Rangers were known for their exciting attacking football, but it was built on a solid defence, with Dave Clement, Ian Gillard, Dave Webb and Frank McClintock one of the best defences in the division, with the great Phil Parkes in goal. Man City couldn't find a way past them, as we got a 10th clean sheet of the season in a hard-fought 0-0 draw. The draw took us back to the top of the table on goal average, as Derby lost at Birmingham, whilst Man United, West Ham and Liverpool all dropped points. This would set up a real top-of-the-table clash, with second-place Derby coming to Loftus Road. Stan Bowles was again missing after Dave Sexton left him out after their latest dispute, so we were unchanged for a big game, which saw 17-year-old Phil Nutt on the substitute bench.
So the noise swells as the clash between the top two gets underway. Queen's Park Rangers attacking the goal to our left in those familiar blue and white hoops. Derby County today in a change strip of yellow shirts with blue shorts. Leighton James with a touch to Charlie George. Archie Gemmell, Francis Lee. Colin Todd joining up there. Bruce Rioch. Derby, who were beaten 4-1 in the league here last season, and Rangers have already beaten them 5-1 at the baseball ground. Here's Rioch, cut out nicely though for Rangers by McClintock, but a shot by Henry Newton, wide and high, and a goal kick to Rangers. But here's Clement. Givens, a little too high even for him. Now Givens might get this one on Francis. And now Rioch. Archie Gemmell. Played on for Rioch. Lee, back for Rioch again, and hit too firmly towards Lee. No chance of him controlling that. Nice little bit of play there between Givens and Francis. But there's the formidable barrier of Colin Todd. Quite unshakable. Clinton. Thomas there first. Played for Hollins. Clement making a run down the right for him. That's the ball hit towards Dave Thomas and hit well for him. Rod Thomas is marking him, and here's Gillard playing in the early ball to Leach. And Todd again getting that one away, and Rod Thomas in the end content to put it behind for a Q.P.R. corner. So David Webb up again. And Dave Thomas with the corner. Hit deep. Well, no, there was some pushing. Ball came over, the forwards got up, it ended in the back of the net. But Alf Gray had no doubt there was some pushing there, and it's a free kick. Masson. Here's Leach. Left for Francis. And now Dave Thomas facing Rod Thomas. A long shot. My goodness, that was swerving all over the place, and Bolton had to make sure he got behind that one. Taken more than 25, 28 yards there by Dave Thomas, moving a lot in the air, and Bolton got well behind it in the end. It's Jerry Francis on the ball now for Rangers. Givens playing it back for him. He's got Gillard wide. Here's Gillard. The cross hit fairly low, and it might come in again. McFarlane is there and has half lost it. Givens with a shot, and that was beautifully saved by Bolton. Just a half mistake in that Derby defence, and Givens was on it with a good shot on the turn. Well saved by Colin Bolton. Phil Nutt, the 17-year-old, is going to come on, which means that Don Masson not fit to come back. So Phil Nutt is on. Dave Clement. Jerry Francis, Clement again. Again, a long-range shot, and you could see by the way that Bolton was positioning himself behind that, it was moving a fair bit in the air. Again, from some 25 yards, Thomas letting that one go. Clement, Francis, Leach has gone on ahead. Nutt, Clement again. That's aimed towards Mick Leach and Dave Thomas on the other side. Here's Thomas. Shot well, oh, and he hit the crossbar. He couldn't have been unluckier if he tried. Found a beautiful yard of space on that right touch, on that right foot. Hit it powerfully, beat Colin Bolton all ends up, and hit the crossbar. Givens. Free kick. Again, Rioch is the guilty man, and the free kick already taken. Hollins floating a good one in there towards Nutt. Yes! Phil Nutt has done it! The 17-year-old has broken the deadlock as Hollins floated that ball into the centre. He escaped for a moment and his header was wide of Bolton, and that could be a decisive goal. And there's the free kick floating in there. Charlie George right in. Parks didn't get his fist to it. If anything, he got his fist to one of his teammates, Jerry Francis. So Rangers still under pressure. Henry Newton with the shot, and it's well. Goal kick to Queen's Park Rangers. The atmosphere absolutely tremendous here now. And there's the hero. The cheers are so much for this 17-year-old lad. This time that header completely. Here's Charlie George, a touch for Leighton James. Todd, cut out again by Jerry Francis that time. Here's Gemmell now. A well-hit shot that needed to be pushed over. Phil Parks had a good sight of it. Nobody really in his way as Gemmell struck it. Turned it over well. Givens, another jump, but he was out-jumped that time by Roy McFarlane. Henry Newton. McFarlane. Robbed by Nutt. Gemmell. Played for Rioch. More passion about this game now than there's been all afternoon. James to Nish. McClintock behind that one. Now Rioch. Oh, there's a good ball by Rioch, and there's a chance for Leighton James. Turned in again there for Charlie George, and he's missed the chance, has he? No, it's put in there by Rioch. Well, it looked for a long time as though Charlie George had a chance after Leighton James had turned it in, that Charlie George had a chance. It looked as though he'd lost it. In the end, the ball found its way to the number 4, Bruce Rioch, and he has scored the equaliser. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Derby County 1. Bruce Rioch the scorer.
Well, I still can't really believe it, you know. I don't know, it's something that you hope for, but I think I was a bit lucky, you know, because Don Givens made the way for me, and I just drifted in there and I just headed it, and it just went in the near post.
And then what happened?
Well, I was in a daze. I just, you know, turned around. At first, I thought Colin Bolton was going to save it, but then it just bounced and it went over his hand and it went in. I just turned around.
There were about, I think, about 10 blue and white hooped shirts just about diving on you at that point, weren't they?
That was when I just realised it was true. Yeah, it's just something to dream of, really.
What did Dave Sexton say to you afterwards?
Well, I walked in and said congratulations on the first goal. So he was very pleased with me,
Yeah.
so no, I thought that was good.
I think he was very pleased with your performance throughout that second half as a whole. I mean, you seem to have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, well, when I played against Stoke, when I come against Stoke, that helped me. Now, that broke the ice, and when I come, I was obviously nervous, but I felt a bit more confident. And once you touch the ball once or twice, you get your confidence up anyway.
And you're 17.
Yeah, that's
When are you 18?
next May.
Were any of your family here to watch this great day today?
Well, I think it was my dad definitely came, but I weren't sure if my brother or my friend came.
Where are you from, in fact, Phil?
Pimlico, in South Victoria.
Yeah, and how long have you been at Q.P.R?
This is my second year. I joined when I was a schoolboy.
And you're settling in well?
Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying it down here, especially last year, and I'm pleased with this year as well.
Can you ever imagine a moment to equal that one?
No, I don't think so. not at the moment, anyway.
You think you might be reading a few papers tomorrow morning?
Well, I hope so, yeah.
A point gained or a point lost. You could make a case for both, really, and questions could be asked, would we have won that game if Stan Bowles, who had scored a hat-trick in the reverse fixture, had been available? But again, we showed great character to get a point, and we were now 8 games unbeaten. The feeling was, though, that we were drawing too many games. We stayed top, though, level on points with Liverpool, Derby and Man United, whilst West Ham, Man City and Leeds were just 2 points behind to make up the top 7. As Christmas approached, we faced a key game away at Liverpool, with the press calling it a title decider. Stan Bowles was back in place of Mick Leach, as manager Dave Sexton was saying we'd be going all out for the win rather than playing for a draw.
Now Cormac with Tommy Smith outside if he wants him. Toshak coming in! Liverpool's top scorer strikes again. They can't stop Toshak this season. This is Francis. Thomas. Oh, well played by Smith to Highway. Toshak the only other player up, and he's way over on the left. Still Highway. Oh, Thomas, it's a goal by Thomas, penalty. David Thomas hangs his head because with that challenge he may have sealed the match for Liverpool. So Phil Neal and Phil Parks, the goalkeeper, being spoken to there by Clement, who may have some idea about where Phil Neal might place his kick. Phil Neal, who scored from the spot twice against Arsenal recently. But this is a very, very vital kick. 2-0, and that might be a very important penalty by the end of the season. No wonder Phil Neal looks delighted, and so do the Kop.
A disappointing defeat then. Rangers had really taken the game to Liverpool in what was a real end-to-end game, but we were wide open to the counter-attack, with Liverpool proving too strong for us at Fortress Anfield. That result put Liverpool top for the first time all season, and meant they would be top at Christmas. Wins for Man United and Derby meant we dropped down to 4th place, level on points with Leeds and West Ham, making it a frustrating Christmas in West London. Norwich City were the visitors on Boxing Day. And it was a nice Christmas present for Q.P.R fans as we put that defeat behind us to win 2-0, thanks to goals from Don Masson and Stan Bowles, moving us back up to 3rd place. Liverpool dropped points at Stoke, which ensured the table was extremely tight. They sat level with Man United, a point above Q.P.R, Leeds and Derby. We ended 1975 with a London derby, travelling to North London to face a struggling Arsenal side.
Floated towards the far post, Rimmer underneath it, and so too was Webb. Francis. Goal kick. Brady, a rather story. Down again towards Kidd. And Masson letting that run to Francis. Here's Dave Clement. Ball, a nice little flick there by Alan Ball. Beautifully played there for Brady. Armstrong going hard into the box. Brady shot, oh, and a great save. I think people may have been expecting Brady to curl that one into where Armstrong was running in the far post, but he let fly and Parks made a superb save. The referee quietly went across and had a word with Sammy Nelson about that without making any fuss about it. There's Nelson again. Giving the ball away this time to Francis. Brady really tackling back hard, and Brady having a good game for Arsenal. Here's Story, and now here's Brady again. That's a lovely ball again for him, for George Armstrong. Crossing once more towards Stapleton, and Ball will hope to get in there, and somehow Park saved it again. Great ball by Brady. Good cross there by Armstrong. Stapleton up well, and Ball almost able to force it in before Parks had the last word. So another corner for Arsenal. Again, just giving Armstrong an extra yard to try and get that ball in. Oh, and another great save by Parks, this time from O'Leary. Well, the young centre-half caught that beautifully. It came through a crowd of players. Parks couldn't possibly have seen that to the last possible split second, but still reacted quickly enough to get it away. Another corner for Arsenal. And Parks the man they've got to beat. Armstrong with this corner again, floating it in, and this time the fist of Parks gets it away. Bowes, played to Gibbons. What a good ball there by Gibbons. We're seeing some beautiful crossfield balls today. That one to Thomas. And look who was right back there to get his all in for Arsenal, the little number 7, George Armstrong. Leary. Arsenal's throw. Brady. Webb turning it skillfully wide there for Hollins. Bowles. Brady on for ball. Nelson's gone up too. Here's Nelson. Kidd's outside him and Stapleton's through the middle. And again that man Parks has stopped him. There really seems to be no beating of Phil Parks this afternoon. That was a lovely Arsenal move, half the length of the field, leaving Stapleton with a chance to go through the gap, hit his drive perfectly, and Parks was equal to it again. Kick. Almost flicked that through for Brady, and it hasn't gone yet for Arsenal as it comes to Alan Ball. Now maybe for Stapleton, and finally for Ball! Well, inside the first minute of the second half, Arsenal at last have found a way past Phil Parks, and it seemed that the ball would never go in. It was flicking around there for so long, and eventually it came to Alan Ball. And he lashed it in. Arsenal 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Alan Ball, the man who got it. And the man beaten at last, Phil Parks, who had no chance. Bowles, who took a knock in the first half, of course, and failing to make a contact there. And it's with Gillard. Played on for Bowles that time, and Gillard taking it up well. Now this time for Hollins. There's his shot, and well saved by Rimmer. Actually, Rimmer had made his angle well, but it was a good build-up there by Rangers. Hollins taking that pass well. Now Nelson. Cut out by Webb. Now Gibbons is after this one. And he might be in with a chance now, Gibbons. A little chip. Oh, and it was a fraction too high. Not out of play yet there, as Thomas can turn it back, which he does. Oh, and beautifully punched up, almost away, as Bowles got that header in. And Rimmer recovered remarkably quickly. Oh, when Thomas turned that back again, Bowles Bowles went flying in with a header. Rimmer punched it up in the air, and the defender helped him to get it away for this corner. Thomas with it towards the near post. That looked like handball by Givens, but obviously it couldn't have been. McClintock chasing back. Arsenal's throw. Nelson. Thomas. Givens. Rangers very subdued up front this afternoon. Nice dummy there by Francis, and now here's Bowles on for Francis. And over the back. Bit of quick thinking there by Francis, dummying around that ball, and Bowles playing it on for him to Francis to continue that run. Masson, Francis. A bit of play there by Francis. What a lovely piece of play by the England captain there. And a good save too, and it might come for Thomas. Driven and somehow deflected away. Rangers waking up a little bit now. And Bowles made a sign of the linesman. And for making a sign of the linesman, Stan Bowles, his name goes into the book. Will go down in the book as dissent. The linesman also, of course, recording that incident. Webb. Oh, he dallied too long there. Here's ball. Sliding that into the path of Brian Kidd. Oh, and he went under Fox! Brian Kidd, the scorer. And you would not believe it, would you? The ups and downs of goalkeeping. The man who kept Rangers in the game with 3 or 4 magnificent saves in the first half. Conceded one about which he could do nothing. And then as the ball is played on to Brian Kidd from Alan Ball, Parks allowed the ball to go under his body, and that makes it Arsenal 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Brian Kidd the scorer. Poor old Phil Parks.
We really didn't click as a side at all yesterday.
Was that you were hustled out of it by Arsenal, or what?
I think so, yeah. We let them play a little bit, and they took it from there. Whereas normally we sort of do the same to Arsenal as they did to us. Yeah.
Which would you have regarded as your best save yesterday?
Perhaps that one there, because it did move in the air, and I was at one side of the goal and I had to get right across to the other side.
But I think the most spectacular from a lot of people, from the layman's point of view, if I can put it that way, is one you made from a close range from David O'Leary following a corner coming up now. Tell us about this one, Phil.
Yes, well, the corner comes across there, they all jump and miss it. He controls it ever so well there and sort of turns it on the volley. A really great shot, but really it's straight at me there. Although that's sort of in slow motion, and it was, you know, came very quick. It's still more or less straight at you, and it's just a pure reflex save. You don't really know much about them. No.
We've got to come to that moment though now, haven't we? About 9 minutes from the end.
Yeah.
What on earth happened there?
I don't really know, to tell you the truth. I thought I had the ball at one stage, and I couldn't believe it when I hadn't got it.
Shall we ever look at it again?
Yeah, you're welcome, yeah.
In fact, it looked to me very much as though Frank McClintock may have got in your way a little bit.
Well, Frank did get was directly between the ball and myself. And
Nice ball from Alan Ball there.
yeah, yes, and Kiddy does well. Actually, I wasn't expecting him to shoot there. As you see, I'm not really ready until sort of there, and he hits it now, and you know, he just goes past Frank's leg. I seem to see it a little bit late, and I don't know, Christ, I just went round all wrong. And, you know, I couldn't believe it when it was in the back of the net. It actually hit me on the arm and bounced down behind me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've let one in for Queen's Park Rangers like that.
No.
For a long, long while anyway.
So a second defeat in 3 matches, and our hopes of the title seem to be slipping away after a disappointing couple of weeks. Liverpool ended the year top of the table, level with Man United. Leeds and Derby were just a point behind them, whilst Q.P.R are now 5th, 3 points behind the leaders. Our away form was proving to be our Achilles heel. We were unbeaten at home, but away from home we had just 1 win from 11 games, losing 4 of them. We were going to need to start winning on the road to stand any chance of qualifying for Europe, let alone winning the title. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to the channel.